We'll take literature. We will take the new unit. Do you all have your books? Huh?
Yes. Yes.
Great. Open unit 3, chapter 11, which is in page 237. I'll share with you my presentation in a minute. Where is it? Where is it? Okay, as we are used to, we know that each chapter has, or each unit has an essential question to discuss, which would be, we can call it the theme for the unit. Okay, I'm just checking. Are you all here?
Yes. Yes.
Can you see the PowerPoint?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Costs of scientific innovation. Scientific innovation. What are the costs of scientific innovation? Okay, let's discuss an important question. Would you prefer reading on a tablet or from a book, girls?
A book.
Why? What would you prefer reading a book?
The way
Dareen,
holding it
why?
is better. You
Sarah,
feel.
who's talking?
Yes. Yes. I'm sorry.
Yes, Sarah.
When I hold like the book, it's way more better to read from it than from the phone.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's why I prefer the book.
Yes. Who else?
Miss, I feel that we concentrate more on the book.
Yes, away of distractions and notifications, right? Great. I loved it. And what else? Girls? What else? Although that nowadays there is Kindle, there are PDF books for any new published book, there is a PDF.
Miss, you also might like find much more information in the book itself instead of in the tablet.
It is the same, dear, because the same novel is written on tablet. It is the same. They do not miss a word or anything. So reading from a tablet is a new innovation. Okay, so since ever we used to read through books. Reading a tablet is a new innovation. Patti Smith, the one you see her picture, said, please, no matter how we advance in technology, please don't abandon the book. There is nothing in our material world more beautiful than a book. There is nothing more beautiful than a book. Holding the book and reading it. And Ragad is the one who said away of distractions, right?
No,
Right?
Miss Dana.
Dana.
No,
Dana.
miss.
Yes, yeah, Dana, thank you. Dana said a very important point that when you hold the book, you are away of distractions. When you read from the mobile, you get to receive notifications, so it distracts you. Okay, so any new innovation has a good side, but in the same time, it has a bad side, which we can call advantages and disadvantages of technology. Okay, so I would like to show you this. Wait a minute here. To share it with you. Okay. Here is it. Okay, can you see this man?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so this is the topic is advantages and disadvantages of technology. What would happened? In 1984, I was 3 years old at that time. Okay, on that time there was this, but no, computer was not established in 1984. Maybe like in 1987 or 8. This is not 1984. This is after 1984. Because I remember the first time I saw computer, I was like grade 3, and it was black and white, and these small letters only in blue, and it was that size. Okay, so this was the desk for any worker, and I think this is slide work, paperwork, and he doesn't have piles of papers. But if it's a normal desk, it should have piles of papers. In 2014, we only had the laptop. Until now, we only have the laptop. Everything is saved on this laptop. And I like this. In 1984, this was the size of our television. There was no remote control for the television, girls. In order to change the channel, you have to go to the television and change it yourself. You press the button or you turn this button. In 1984, the television was big and we were thin. In 2014, 15 till now, the television is slim and we are fat. Why would you think that? Why people are getting fatter?
Probably because they stopped working much.
Yeah.
And they're having easier things.
Yeah. He holds the remote control in his hands and the mobile is in his other hand. He controls the world, as you can say. Who uses technology? As we are talking about technology, who uses technology? Who uses technology, girls? You use technology. I use technology. Children on their iPads use technology, right or not?
Yes.
Yes.
Can you meet anyone who doesn't have a smartphone nowadays?
No.
No. So he says the advantages of technology: efficiency and productivity. It helps you to produce more and more efficiently. Makes life easier, so I can, like what we do now, we have an online class. Easily access the information. When you want to search for any information, just Google it. Google became my best friend. Encourages innovation and creativity. Saves time, which will lead to efficiency and productivity. Okay, how it makes life easier? By trains, mobiles, provide the information for any research you want. Okay. Google can gather information in a short period of time. Before Google, in order to get an information, what did we used to go? Where did we used to go? To the library, and we have to check like 10 books in order to get a piece of information. Okay. Encourages innovation and creativity. Workers can use different business technologies to create innovations. Saves time. Instead of going to the library and spend hours in front of books, just click on Google, you find the meaning, and you find whatever you want to know. Efficiency and productivity again. The disadvantages. Before we go to the disadvantages, what is a disadvantage of new technology, girls? In your opinion?
Bad for the health. Bad for our health.
Yeah, bad for your health, bad for your sight, bad for your backs. What else, girls?
It breaks the family bonds.
Great. Breaks family bonds. Everyone is on his cell phone. People become inactive and dependent. Many employees become lazy at work. Technology kills their creativity and skills. Okay. So, for example, the The person in a company, all companies, he used to archive files, archive paper is no longer exists. Everything is saved on laptops. Cause redundancies at work. Redundancies as at work to replace a worker with a computer or a robot, because he can function more efficiently. Before, in order to plant, for example, or harvest the plants, you need like 100 workers. Now machines replace this work. Reduce face-to-face communication, as Sarah said, it cuts the family bonds. Everyone is on his cell phone. Everyone is watching his own movie. At my age, we used to gather together in one room in front of one television to watch the same movie. Okay, yeah, we fought. I want channel 1, my brother wants channel 2, but this is interaction. This is what having a life means. To interact with others, not isolate yourself with your own mobile. Yeah. Are you familiar with these situations? You go out with your friends and then you end up each one alone on his phone?
Yes.
This is it. Okay, and of course, children distraction, the students in the class, okay, they are distracted and they are addicted to playing games, so they do not focus on anything by playing games, but playing games. This is the 90s kid, this is me, and this is you. I was in 19s, I was a kid. I used to play, but with these were the maximum fun we had, to go out in a garden and play, ride a slide, play these activities. These were the maximum fun. This was me, your parents. One television, one family. The kid today, he has a laptop, he has a mobile, he has an Xbox, he has his own television, his own camera, and he just needs more. He asks for more. He's not satisfied. He doesn't move his body. His body is like this all time, in his place all the time. His energy is stored inside him. He doesn't free the energy. He doesn't play. He doesn't have fun. What is the meaning of having fun when I get like 20 likes on my new picture? It's not fun. Reasons of all crime. Sometimes the crime influence movie. So like these movies, The Nun and Scary Movie. I don't think you saw this movie. It was at my time. This was a Scary Movie and this was The Nun. So people who watched this movie, they tried to imitate or copy this. So in conclusion, technology plays an important role in our lives. However, we should be careful about its dangers. Okay? Okay. We go back to our presentation. Are you with me, girls?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, can you see Patty Smith?
Yes.
So Patty said, please don't abandon the book. Okay, before we move to this second quote, let's read on page 237. Let's read. Okay. Who's here? Kadra. Kadra?
Yes, miss.
Can you read, please, and raise your voice and read?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, please.
The history of
From the
human
book, yeah. From the book, yes.
the history of human existence is in large part the history of scientific innovation. The changes wrought by new discoveries and new machines. Simple devices such as the wheel and more sophisticated developments like farming have revolutionized the way people live and work.
So these new innovations, yeah, they have revolutionized from the word revolution. يعني it was a great, a major change in people's life.
But progress is not simply a straight line from a dark, primitive past to a bright, utopian future.
Yeah, but progress is not simply a straight line from a dark primitive. Primitive is a beginning. A primitive path to a bright utopian future. What is utopian future? Utopia is a philosophical idiom. It means the good city, the that everyone in this world lives a good life. Utopia is as we can say, a city with no sins, with no mistakes, the good city. Okay.
Innovations have costs and lead to unexpected consequences.
So please highlight it, because this is the main idea. Innovations have costs and led to unexpected consequences. So girls, this article, this is a statement, this is his opinion, without mentioning my opinion is that innovation has a dark side. He just mentioned it. Okay, continue, Kadra.
Consider the famous story of Marie Curie, who discovered the elements polonium and radium and became the first woman to win the Nobel Prize. Yet her exposure to radioactivity, a term she coined, led her to death.
So he tells you about Marie Curie. Who's Marie Curie? Marie Curie is a scientist, a woman who discovered the radium. Radium is in you study it in chemistry and physics. And radium is a metal, as we can say, or what can say, element, polonium and radium. Yeah, elements. It's an element, and yes, it was a huge discovery. Yet it leads to her death. Huh? It was the reason that she died of this elements and exposure to these elements and regions. Okay, thank you, Kadra. Thank you. Layan Maghrabi.
Yes, Miss.
Yes, read, please. In the last century.
In the last century, the pace of scientific advancement has quickened and the world has grown increasingly interconnected by ever faster transportation and digital telecommunication. People have traveled in space, cured diseases, and unlocked many of nature's secrets. But at the same time, human civilization has polluted the skies and the oceans. And
yes, although that you build up factories, you give us products, but you polluted the sky.
Has created technologically advanced weapons capable of immense destruction. In this unit, you will explore the costs and benefits of some significant scientific innovations. You will read about the experiences of those who survived the world's first nuclear attack. You will learn about the systems that provide the world's food and electricity needs. You'll also see American presidents argue over the proper use of human biological material in medical research. As you delve into these and other topics, you will consider how authors treat sometimes controversial subjects matter to inform, to make technical ideas accessible and engaging, and to promote their points of view.
So he introduces what you are going to read in this unit. Okay, and it's up to our selection. You will meet which would take the first unit is the first nuclear attack, and we will discuss later. So we still discuss what are the costs of scientific innovation. In Henry David Thoreau's time, factories were a new technology, and it was, he has a factory. Compare Thoreau's sentiments evident through the following quote with their own feelings about current technological innovations. What did he say? He said, "I cannot believe that our factory system is the best mode by which men may get clothing," because he has a factory for cloth, and it was innovationally, and it was wow, a factory at that time. Girls, the principal object, not that mankind may be well and honestly clad, but unquestionably that corporations may be enriched. Please, I want you to read it silently and tell me what do you think of it and how it goes with your own feelings about the current technological innovations. I'll give you 2 minutes to think of it. So as I said again, factories were new technology. Okay, can anyone share with us? Hello? Anyone understand what Puru wants to say?
Miss, can I answer?
Yes, please.
That the author or the person talking wasn't really worried about the outcomes of what the factories might produce, but the owners of the factories, how they might exploit their factories and their workers, and how that might affect the society as a whole.
Yeah. Yeah. And that corporation may be enriched whom?
So
The
they might
corporation, yeah.
get money off of their workers and
Yes.
become very rich and compared to the people working for them.
Yes, 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 yes. So the factory system, yeah, it is good, it's great. But the principal object, the principle is number one object is not that mankind may be well and honestly clad. To not make the mankind well, no, no, no. Unquestionably, that corporation may be enriched. Okay. Okay. We finished this, and I showed you this slide. Okay, because there is another PowerPoint I want to show you. Here. No, not this one. Can you see the new PowerPoint presentation?
Yes.
Okay. So as we said, Unit 3 is discussing the new innovations and the costs of new innovation. Before we move into our first selection, our first story or this, we would like to learn something, analyzing storytelling techniques in non-fiction texts. Listen, girls, I will stop sharing. So, okay. Listen, girls, look at me. In literature, we have two kinds of writings. We have fiction and non-fiction. If you go to Jarir to buy a book, you will go to a section of fiction and another section of non-fiction. What is a section of fiction? Fiction is when the author, I'm the author, I woke up in the morning, I imagined characters, I created a plot, a conflict, and a resolution. This is fiction. Fiction. This fiction can be real or a fantasy or anything. This fiction can happen in real life, like if I write The Fault in Our Stars. I imagined, as an author, I imagined the character, the conflict, that I planned it, but it can happen in real life, or it could have happened in other lives. So this is fiction. Fiction is when the author imagine everything. Fiction. And then we have non-fiction. Non-fiction is to tell you a story that has happened. Can non-fiction be in a novel? Yes. When I tell you I am an author, but I didn't imagine the characters. I didn't imagine the characters have lived before, or maybe still alive. So I do not imagine the characters, and I don't create my own characters, no. This is non-fiction. Non-fiction is not imaginary. I didn't imagine, the author hasn't imagined the characters. No, it happened. This is a non-fiction. So here we would learn how to analyze storytelling in techniques. Storytelling techniques, because if I am writing a fiction, I have a technique. If I am writing a non-fiction, I have a technique, because in non-fiction, I'm telling events that has or have happened already. So there should be techniques for any kind of writing. Now we will analyze writing in non-fiction text. What is a non-fiction? Non-fiction when the author doesn't imagine characters. Today we have lots of idioms, so I want you to concentrate with me. Okay, grade 10. We agree?
Yes.
Concentrate. Okay. Okay. Analyzing storytelling techniques in non-fiction text. The first thing is anaphora. Anaphora is a rhetorical technique. Rhetorical, as we discussed before, rhetorical is to convince, is a device to persuade others. Rhetorical, as we can say, rhetorical, not rhetorical, I'm sorry. Rhetorical is a technique. Rhetorical is a technique to convince others, to persuade others. Rhetorical. Say it, girls. Rhetorical.
Rhetorical.
Yes, rhetorical technique. Okay. So anaphora is a rhetorical technique. What is rhetorical, teacher? Rhetorical is to persuade. This that we took first semester is the ethos, the pathos, the logos, and we discussed this. So it is a rhetorical technique in which a word or a phrase is repeated at the beginning of two or more successive sentences or clauses. I will make sure individual rights are protected. I will make sure all children get good education. I will make sure. This is anaphora. Repetition at the beginning of phrases or clauses.
Miss?
With
Why is it used? I mean, why is it an important?
Repetition is normally used to take your attention, to grab your attention. When I repeat, why he repeats? Like, I have a dream. I have a dream. I have a dream. The speech for Michael Luther King. He used the anaphora. Why? So he will grab your attention. What is his dream? I have a dream that my children will not be judged by the color of their skin, by their personality. I have a dream that one day will stand hand by a white man holding the hand of a black man. I have a dream. Why? Repetition ensures the meaning. So with malice toward none, with charity for all, with firmness in the right. This is an example of anaphora. Anaphora is repetition. Okay. Why we called it rhetorical? Because it persuades. It's a way of persuasion. Anecdote. Anecdote is a short account of an event or incident that is told in an interesting or amusing way. In essays, when you used to write essays, when we write essays, and I want to support my thesis statement in the small boxes, in the three bodies, I write for you like this. I write for you. Support thesis statement. How do I support it? By facts, statistics, anecdote. What is an anecdote? Anecdote, to mention a short story happened. Like if I'm talking about smoking and diseases of smoking, so I would mention that my cousin who used to smoke a lot, or he was a heavy smoker, and after 10 years, he got a disease, and the disease was converted to another disease. This is an anecdote, a short story. And teacher, can I write a short story in an essay? Yes, it's called an anecdote. It's like example, but in an account of a story. A short account of event or incident that is told in an interesting or amusing way. During that, Bella's dad was infamous for sharing anecdotes about this day. So anecdote is a story, a short account. Then ellipsis. Ellipsis. I wanted to show you what I forgot. The previous presentation, when there was a saying by Thorers, there was 3 dots. There were 3 dots in the 3 lines. What is the story of 3 dots? Why would a person in his writings use 3 dots? 3 dots is called ellipsis. Ellipsis is a set of 3 dots. It is used to show that the text has been omitted from a quote, maybe omitted something, or a speaker has trailed off or paused, like what? Here. Replacement for omitted words. Again, what is this, teacher? Ellipsis. What is ellipsis? 3 dots. Why would an author use 3 dots? Why? Replacement for omitted words. Okay? Okay? How? Like here in this. What good fortune that the people do not think. He omitted for governments. He said it in his mind, and he said it in his mind. What good fortune for governments, so I can control people, because this is Hitler, yani it's something funny. Yani. What good fortune that people do not think, so he omitted this. Or maybe a pause for effect. Then it appeared a genie. So I use these 3 points for a pause, to create effect. Then came the hero. Okay? Or I use 3 dots or ellipsis for an unfinished thought. I know he deserves it, but so it is an unfinished thought. I don't want to say what I'm thinking of, so I can just write this ellipsis. Okay? Or a trail off into silence. Yes. If I want to stop. We were now on our own. And stop. Yes, who's calling?
No one.
Okay, this is ellipsis. 3 dots used to pause for effect, or replacement for omitted words, or unfinished thought. Then fragment. We know fragment. Fragment is a part of a sentence which is broken. Maybe I missed the subject, I missed a verb. Teacher, can I use a fragment? Yes, you can use a fragment. It is an incomplete sentence. Why would we use it? It's grammatically incorrect. But they are sometimes intentionally used, especially when a person is talking. In dialogue, we can use fragment, because in real life, we use fragments in our talking. So in dialogues, we can use fragment in our writing. So we can say, whenever I hear her voice, I omit it because I don't want to say that I want to smash her head in the wall. Okay? Or whenever I hear her voice. Okay? So this is a fragment, because here, whenever I hear her voice, it's not a complete sentence. As we know, this is whenever I hear her voice, it's a noun clause. Okay? What do you want to do? So we discussed anaphora is a rhetorical device in repetition. Anaphora is a repetition. Anecdote is a small story. Are you with me? Ellipsis, 3
Yes.
dots. Fragment is a broken sentence. With me?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, we'll go for a break for 5 minutes. Wash your face, drink something hot, and enjoy me after 5 minutes, okay?
Okay.
Bye.
Okay.
Bye.
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 See you in 5 minutes.